Well, thank you guys for having me. I appreciate everybody hanging out and sticking around into lunch for this presentation. What we'll do is we're going to do a little bit of product knowledge on what we offer to the commercial growers as Oregon Wire and Madison Steel. My name is Kyle Seifert. I'm the Vice President of Sales. Over the next 20 minutes, I hope to offer a lot of information on what we do, who we are as a company, and to answer any questions at the last 10 minutes with a little bit of Q&A. So some of the growers that we work with, you should have received, we had some folks bring by a basket of goods for you guys that was full of different samples. In that sample offering, we had some friends of ours at Boneyard Beer. They were kind enough to include some beer. So I want to give a special shout out to Boneyard. And if you did receive one of those boxes, I would encourage you to crack your beer at this time. And hopefully that will help you tolerate the next 20 minutes of me talking. So with that, I'm going to jump right into it, and we'll go ahead and start the presentation. So just to start out with a little bit about who we are, I like to start every presentation with our mission statement, our company mission statement. This is something we created as a team. It is something that ownership lives by. It is something that every employee lives by. And it's at the top of our minds each and every day when we come to work. This is important because at the end of the day, really what keeps us employed and keeps our company growing is the customer satisfaction. And we tend to find that we can generate customer satisfaction by being very responsive and offering a good product, along with these other more intrinsic type items, if you will. So again, I'm the Vice President of Sales. My name is Kyle Seifert. I think some of you know me. There's a lot of people on here. So I'm a local to the Northwest. I'm fourth generation in my family to sell steel wire. I work for a company out of Atlanta, Georgia, that's called Madison Steel. And over the last 7 or 8 years, we've been very fortunate to have a lot of good growth. And about 2 years ago, we acquired a company called Oregon Wire. And we wanted to take this time to kind of make sure everybody knew, who we were as a company and reintroduce what we do and what's changed over the last 2 years since that merger and acquisition occurred. So the parent company, and I'll try to make this brief, the parent company is Madison Steel. A lot of you probably remember us when we first came to market as Madison Steel. Since then we've come to market as Oregon Wire, since it is more of a local name. But to give you a little bit of a background on our parent company, Madison Steel is one of the top 5 high carbon distributors in North America. We do a lot of business in the lower 48. We do a lot of business in Canada, and then we do some business in Central America and Mexico as well. Really what we focus on is expertise in our products. So we've got several years of experience with the veteran group of our owners. And then in addition to that, we focus on essentially working with the best mills. So there's a lot of different factories out there in the world. Not all of them offer the same level of quality. So what we do is we use a process, essentially a sourcing process that they have to go through a qualification questionnaire and then even a mill site visit to become a vendor. All the mills are ISO certified, and I'll get more into that. But we find that when it comes to steel, you have to have extremely good quality. In the past, not everybody had great quality. 2021, quality is a must. So we have that as one of our core focuses. We have expertise in what we're doing. And then we also are very strong logistically. So as a distributor, that's extremely important. And essentially, that's how we create our value, is by being experts, having expertise in wire, having access to the best wires and cables, and then having strength in getting it from point A to point B. I'm going to move into the next slide here. These are our industries at a glance. So Oregon Wire, Madison Steel, it's a very diverse company. You can see here, obviously we have about 5-6 different segments that we fit into. I'm going to just brush on these very quickly. The Christmas product line is something where we essentially produce the wire ring for the wreaths. We represent a very large majority of the wreaths. I would be willing to bet there's a good chance your Christmas wreath, if you purchased one this last Christmas, we most likely were the ones that provided the ring for the wreath. That is a business that Oregon Wire has been involved with for many years, since the 70s. It's a very interesting business, and it's a key part of our business. So it has its own segment. The other segment that we have is custom fabrication. We do, you can see in the photo here, there's a fan guard. We produce these for the hospitals. You see these really, really small fan guards on the backs of computers. We don't so much do those. We more do the industrial versions of those that go on really, really large HVAC systems that are on the outside of hospitals, universities, large commercial buildings, things of that nature. Custom fabrication, we also make hop clips too. Another segment is construction. I would assume some of you guys are well versed in construction. We sell wire mesh, we sell cable, we sell a lot of construction related products. Another division that we operate in is the lawn and garden industry. Lawn and garden industry is something that's been a big part of Oregon Wire's business, again, since the 70s. We make, in this picture here, an American-made tomato cage. It tends to be for a little bit more high end of a consumer, but it's 100% USA made. It utilizes 1/4-inch wire, and so it's very, very, very sturdy. It lasts many, many seasons, and it's one of our key products. Not so much in this segment, but in that lawn and garden segment. And then the other two segments are our recycling segment, or our industrial steel wire segment, which is the ISW. This is bale tie wire, recycling wire for scrap yards. We work with two large big box companies, Walmart and Costco, on this product line, and we sell them essentially a consumable for that. The industry that we're here to talk about today is the agriculture and the growers segment of our business. This segment is near and dear to our hearts for sure. We enjoy this segment. Personally, I enjoy it the most. Really because it's a lot of really good quality families and groups of people within the industry that tend to just want to get the job done. So those are the industries we're in. It's a very diverse company. There is no 80-20 principle really. Some of the segments are responsible for more top line growth than others, but it's a pretty well-balanced mix. And our leverage with Madison helps us balance that mix, and it also creates a lot of opportunity for growth in each of these segments. So how it relates to the customers that are watching the call is in this way. So what we tend to focus on as a sales team in particular is that we want to be very flexible, right? So we want to, in some cases, we'll offer a just-in-time system for a larger contract. We can do vendor managed inventory. We can do less than truckload deliveries. We can do full truckload delivery, direct buy. Whatever that function is that you need, Madison and Oregon can be flexible enough to help you get what you need to get done. The proactive communication piece is something we take very, very seriously as well. This is more on the commercial side of our business. So with our sales folks and our internal people. Internally, we have a rule. It's a sundown rule where customers, anybody on the outside facing in, should be responded to or have an answer by the end of the day. Even if that answer is, I don't know right now, and I'm working on getting you an answer. But we do find that proactive communication with the growers and with the different stakeholders and customers is extremely important. To that point, there's a small photo over here on the right. This is kind of just a geographic shot of where we're set up. Go back here. Excuse me, sorry about that. But you can see these points. These are our different, call them distribution points. So we have a warehouse in Wapato, Washington, that we keep almost all of these commercial growing products at, as well as our factory down in Portland, Oregon. We have a senior sales rep who lives in the Tri-Cities area. His name is Peter Schultes. We have a market manager who oversees this entire category. that lives in Yakima, Washington. His name is Ryan Terrell. And we also just recently hired a younger gentleman out of Oregon State University. His name is Tucker Perry, and he works out of our Portland office and is helping us out with Willamette Valley area as well. So we do operate on a B2B model. We do have direct sales. These guys are your main point of contacts. They can get you whatever you need, and they should be communicating with you proactively, as well as myself as well. So consistency with pricing, I'll touch on that real quickly here. So it's really an economy of scale type deal. We sell value, don't get me wrong, but steel is steel. So a lot of steel products tend to be commoditized in some areas. They're also very volatile. So what you're seeing right now in the steel industry is a lot of volatility currently. And what we do as one of the top 5 distributors is we leverage our buying power and our relationships and our expertise to try to mitigate a lot of the volatility with the pricing. So in a lot of cases, we're able to offer pricing that's preferred pricing. We're also able to hold that pricing for maybe a little bit longer than other individuals per se, which generally just makes things a little bit easier for the grower in particular. High quality products, this kind of speaks for itself. The sourcing process we use is pretty stringent. It takes us on average, it depends on the product, but it can take up to 6 months, up to a year to get a product fully qualified. Some things are a little bit easier to qualify because there might be a standards board or some type of standard we can use to make sure it checks the boxes. But with some of our products, especially in this segment, we do have to you have to be very diligent to make sure that we get the right stuff, so to speak. And then efficient solutions, just to touch on that real quick. One of the things we want to pride ourselves in is that we don't oversell. So we want to try to find an efficient solution for the grower, in particular with this segment of our business. So we don't necessarily want to sell you something over and over again. If there's a creative way to work together to find a solution that works for you guys long term, that's something we're constantly focused on. It's in our mission. It's something that we try to do for all of our customers. So, all right, so kind of moving into the product knowledge side of this, and I appreciate your patience on the background of the company. We have a virtual booth this year, so I would really appreciate it if each of you guys would go check out the booth after this presentation and after the Scenic Photos of Oregon presentation. But if you place your order this week, you do get a show discount. I know that just from talking with different folks, it doesn't sound like there's a ton of activity, but for any of you new individuals that are joining this meeting, I would highly encourage you to check the booth out. You can go into the booth, and essentially what you'll do is you'll send myself or Ryan an email, and then we'll make sure to follow up with you guys this week. So the first product, and really our initial product that we started offering to this segment of our business, was the hop cable. We've worked with hop cable guy strand for years. We actually are one of the top distributors for the telecom industry, and we sell this industry to all kinds of different distributors throughout the US that do, jobs for Comcast, things of that nature. So you can find guy strand anywhere outside your house. If you look up at a telephone pole, guy strand is widely used for the telecom industry. The specification that you need to focus on for this is you need to make sure you're buying ASTM A475. There's several different grades to this spec. And again, Ryan or I or Peter will be happy to answer any questions on this, but there are all kinds of strengths out there. And what we have sold to the hop industry for, I think, 7 years now, maybe a little more than that, is the extra high strength grade. The extra high strength grade is the highest grade. We've never had a break. We've never had any issues with it. And I wouldn't really recommend cutting any corners when it comes to the strength. Below what I have written here is the minimum break strengths. So in most cases, the cable is going to break well above the minimum. This is the ASTM minimum. So our factories break the cable and they confirm that it's breaking well above this range. This would be more for you guys when you're engineering your bridles and whatnot to make sure you've got what you need. We don't see a ton of 3/8 anymore. It seems like the majority of what's out there is 5/16 and 3/16 and quarter. So we carry 10,000 foot reels. They're solid wood reels, so they do not they're not press board. I can't express enough how risky it is using reels that aren't good. 10,000 feet of cable. It, as the last presenter said, you know, it has a memory to it, so it snakes. It remembers how it wants to be. It wants to be straight. When a reel collapses on you, it's not fun. And it's 10,000 feet of cable. You got to try to rat's nest your way through to figure out what to do with it. So again, with the product sourcing side of this, we take the packaging very, very seriously. We take all that stuff very seriously. I'm not advertising this, but we've had people drop reels and the reels don't break. I'm not encouraging you to drop the reels, but we had a guy that picked some cable up last year, and I think the reels fell off his truck, and they went through the floor of his truck, actually, excuse me. But they didn't, the reel was still usable. So we stock this product locally in Wapato and in Oregon. If you guys need it, you are more than welcome to contact us. You can pick it up. We also have trucks that can deliver it. The more that you buy, you tend to get a better price. And again, with this product, we have a number of vendors we use, but we don't really shop the vendors around. We've used them for a number of years, and they're very, very close relationships, very good quality, have never had any issues. And it's what we do, hop cable. So I'm going to go ahead and move into our next product here. Next product is the core twine. A lot of you guys are familiar with core twine. This is a product for us at Oregon Wire. We source out of Sri Lanka. So we've worked with our vendor, again, for a number of years. They have about 45 years of product experience in Sri Lanka. All the fiber that we're bringing in is all very mature coconut fiber. We don't use any white palm fiber in the process. And then in terms of the breaking strength, all the twine breaks between 90 and 100 pounds. If we have any growers on the call that would like something more than 100 pounds, we can order that by request. We also get a lot of requests for 80 pound and 85 pound. And we do have access to that. We can order it for you. We tend to just stock 90 to 100, and it tends to work for most people. We've had really good reviews on our twine. So I know that I've heard stories in the industry where some folks will use younger coconut and use more fiber so that the fiber ends up being a little bit thicker and won't fit in the clips right. We don't have any of those issues. Our stuff is very good. I'd be happy to give anybody references in follow-up. My email's in the booth there. One thing I do want to note for added assurance with the twine is that we do have the ability to test it here in North America. There's an image here where we did some testing last year prior to the convention, just for conformance and just to actually for some marketing purposes. And we'd be happy to do that for any growers. We don't have a problem testing the twine for you. And then also we do carry product liability insurance on the product. We take it very seriously. We understand it's not something to really mess around with when you got your entire crop hanging on it. So we would like to try to expand our core twine offerings. We are looking at potentially doing some other stuff, maybe some paper twine, some things of that nature, but we're not offering that at this time. Just to kind of keep on track here. One of the new products that we wanted to bring to market this year that we've taken the last 12 months to make sure that we really did our diligence with to get the grower what they needed was the bale cloth. So we're going to be offering the polypropylene bale cloth as well as the burlap. You can order this today. We do have pricing available. We do have stock coming in. And we're currently set up to sell it in sheets. It seemed like that's what most of the customer base we were working with was used to using. We have a variety of dimensions available on the sheets, and we do offer it in rolls as well. The PP is food grade. It is breathable. We've got an alignment line down it for you guys. When you go to actually wrap the bale, you can align it with the blue line down the center. And then we're working on getting a stamp put on the actual bale cloth that'll indicate that it is food grade. We do have some folks that use burlap. And burlap, from my understanding, used to be used in the industry a long, long time ago. And there's a lot of sustainability advantages to burlap. And I would love to talk with anybody who has interest in burlap more offline about some of the incentives that come along with using it. But we do have options for you guys for both of those. And we would be extremely eager to talk to you about supplying you guys either for this fall or for next year. So. And then this page is, you should have received a sell sheet with your box of goodies, but we do a lot of hardware that naturally come along with the trellis cable and the twine. So in Portland, Oregon, we actually manufacture these hop clips here. We can produce them to any dimensions you need. It's fully customizable. We can adjust the machine. We do right now stock them in the standard W clip. And if you need samples of that, you should have got some in your box, but we'd be happy to send out samples. And we can also make any spread lock anchor or anything that you need in-house. These rope clips, we used a forged rope clip. This is another product where we wanted to make sure we were offering a product to the growers that could support a suspended load. Some of these rope clips are not designed to support suspended loads. And as such, you're taking a higher risk of having a point of failure there being the clip. We've had good reviews with our clips. We can also offer the vices and some other dead end type products if you have interest. In the middle here is just kind of more information on who we are, as well as a little bit of contact information at the bottom on how to get a hold of us. And with that, I think I've only got about 5 minutes left here, but we really just want to thank you guys again. And I want to thank you guys personally for the business that you've given to our company. We really are appreciative of it. We really hope to continue to grow, and we hope to continue to offer products that you guys need. So again, the goal here is to offer a competitive product to the grower and offer a quality product. And I really would encourage you to go over to the booth. Please send us an inquiry, get in touch with Ryan, get in touch with get in touch with Peter. And we'd love to start quoting you guys on whatever you might need. I want to say thank you to Boneyard for including the beer that some of you guys received today. Also want to thank Ann and Jackie and Melissa and everybody with the Hop Association for all your help. This has been really great considering the format, and we really appreciate you guys letting us be part of it. And with that, I'll open it up for any questions, but thank you guys all again.
Great. Well, thank you so much, Kyle. We always appreciate you taking part in conventions. So thank you for a great presentation. You have a little bit more than 5 minutes left now. So we've got one question geared up so far, and just a reminder to everyone to put any questions that you might have in the question and answer box. But the first question is from Sid, our Texas grower. And so Sid is wondering about the advantages of core twine over paper twine, utilized, of course, more so in Oregon. But Kyle, do you want to go over into those differences if you can?
Yeah, I'd be happy to touch on what I know. I do want to preface this with I'm a steel guy, but I know from selling the core twine over the last 6-7 years, we've done a lot of different, we've answered a lot of questions for growers about what's in our twine. So what I can tell you, Sid, is, it seems like it's a grower's preference, and I would recommend getting with some of the growers that are here and just kind of talking through it with them. But we've heard that it really depends on how you're trellising, how you're harvesting, and how you're managing the farm. We've heard that some folks absolutely only use core twine. They don't want the paper twine. At the same time, I've also had discussions with growers where they only use paper twine and they swear by it. So I can't really lead you one way or another in terms of which product is better. I think that they're both good products. They both are biodegradable. But I know that from what I've heard from my customers personally, is that the hops, and this is just coming from a lot of the Washington guys I work with, the hops like the core twine is what I've been told. And so that they get a really good grip on it. They enjoy climbing the twine, so to speak. And, you know, other than that, I don't know if that's the same case for the paper, but I have heard that sometimes they can slide off the paper. So we tend to prefer the core. I don't know if we'll offer paper in the future or not. And I don't know if that directly answers your question, but I think maybe a grower could help you maybe a little better than I.
So the next question that we've got is where is your bale fabric made?
So the bale fabric comes out of India. And that's actually a really good question. I was hoping to include a little more information on there, but the supplier hadn't gotten me what I was asking for. But we work with a company that's done it for 75 years. Everything does come out of India, and we will be storing it in Wapato area for the just-in-time type deliveries.
Okay, great. I don't see any more questions coming in. I do see a cheers from someone who I'm guessing got one of the beers from Boneyard. But other than that, not seeing anything else at this point.
I could say one last thing that I forgot there. For any of you folks that are customers who haven't worked with us, if you can send me an email or send Ryan an email, we'd like to send you guys a box of the hop clips, the twine, the bale cloth, a complete sample offering in follow-up to the show. So if anybody who wants a box of samples, if you could please go over to the booth and just drop me or Ryan an email, we'll make sure and we get you guys something next week or the following week.
Perfect. Okay. And just a reminder that is in the chat. I can put it in one more time, but that's AmericanHopConvention.org, and look for Oregon Wire. And now that we've got 2 more minutes left, we've got 2 more questions that came in. One is the resin FDA approved, and the rough price difference between the 2 bale cloth options, with the last about minute and a half remaining.
Yeah, from my understanding, in terms of the resins, I'll double confirm that, but it is FDA approved from my understanding from talking with the supplier. And then in terms of pricing, the price difference that you're asking about is between the burlap and the polypropylene, correct? They probably can't answer that. The burlap tends to cost a bit more. So we can get you guys pricing this week. If you have any questions, just drop me or Ryan an email, and we can get you some pricing. But there's a little bit more to that we can go into detail in maybe offline.
Okay, perfect. All right. Well, Kyle, thank you again so much for a great presentation. And again, we are just heading in now to our final session of the day. So thanks to everyone who's been sticking with us.